I know you said you have a busy day, so I guess we'll just jump right into it. Everyone is so curious to know. Tell me a little bit what it was like to grow up in East Tennessee and be able to represent Oak Ridge.
Oh my gosh. I'm so proud to be from East Tennessee. I think it's such a beautiful part of the country that I know, like, the Smoky Mountains is one of, I think it's like the number one visited park in the entire country, or it's certainly up there, and for very good reason. It's so beautiful, and I think we're called the volunteer state for a reason. I certainly grew up learning to get involved in my community, and so I'm very proud. And I always say that I grew up in a small town, and Hollywood was like not some far off dream. Like, it didn't even register. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I am where I am now, like, is just kind of always blows my mind a little bit.
Absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong, you grew up in Oak Ridge until you were 15 and then moved to Georgia. Is that right?
Well, almost. I was born in Oak Ridge. So my grandparents settled there when it was still the secret city. And then, so my mom, her siblings, everyone grew up there. I was born there. My father was actually in Vietnam when I was born. So my mom was living back with her parents. And then when my dad came back from the war, we lived in Knoxville for a little while. And then I actually grew up in Morristown.
Oh, okay.
And then my mom and I moved to Atlanta. And then we all, like, my whole family has kind of stayed in that area. Like, my dad is back there now. He's been back there for, gosh, I think 30 plus years. I have aunts and uncles there, cousins there. I still have many of my besties there. So I still have very, very strong ties.
So you feel like you have these strong East Tennessee roots. Does East Tennessee still feel like home to you, even after being on the national stage for so many years?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, because years ago I would have said yes, but now, like, I'm on the older side of my life now, and I have so much life experience behind me, and I've lived and been in so many places. East Tennessee still has such, like, it's still so in my bones. Like, it's just so familiar to me. And it's where I go back to see, like, my family and friends. So it's sort of a mixed bag. It's like, yeah, I do. And yet I also feel there's kind of a part of me that feels like everywhere is home. Like, anywhere I go is home. I've been so lucky to have, like, this epic career that takes me so many places, and I've had so many incredible adventures. So yeah,
Awesome. Well, tell me a little bit more about how growing up in Oak Ridge and Morristown kind of shaped you into the actress that you are today.
Well, I did my very first productions in Morristown, Tennessee. I was very involved in doing school plays. I was Alice in Wonderland. I was Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. I did all kinds of other productions. I danced. Gail Kilgore, who was my very first dance teacher, is still in Morristown. She still teaches fitness. Like, she's incredible. And I remember when I was younger, my mom and Gail, they kind of had to bribe me to get into classes. But I'm so glad that they did. And because I just felt like it was particularly dance classes, and I fell in love with it. And so all of it really started there for me, but I didn't know that I could do it professionally It was just like I was doing it for fun. I was doing it because I loved it. And then it was once we moved to Atlanta that I learned like, oh, like I could actually get paid for this. Mm-hmm. Like people do this for a living. I don't know. Like I look back and I always wonder, like, what did I think people were doing? Like who were on TV shows? Like I guess I just didn't really think about it. But, yeah, so it was once I moved to Atlanta that I was like, oh, okay, I can make this very, very real.
Did you always know that you wanted to act, or what? You said dance kind of drew you to that space. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, when I was growing up, to me, it was all just performing. Mm-hmm. So I was also in Morristown. I was on a cheerleading squad. We were a highly competitive, like we went to the nationals. We were like number 1 in the state, number 4 in the region, and 11th in the nation. Like, so I was that. I ice skated. I ice skated at Robert Unger's, the ice chalet. And then I went on to spend a summer in Lake Placid. I trained. So anything that I focused on, I really tried to do to the best of my ability. And dancing was the thing that stuck the most. And I did some acting, but it really wasn't until, flash forward many years later when I was dancing and thought I was going to be a professional dancer. And then I was hit by a car that it was like, oh, okay, so I'm not going to be a professional dancer. And I really pivoted to acting.
Right. And I know that that's been a huge part of your journey, is kind of on Dancing with the Stars, especially, is recovering from that accident. Tell me a little bit more about how that transition was into acting. Did you feel like there was that spark there?
Well, again, to me, it was kind of all under the umbrella of performing. And I knew that I wanted to take performance as far as I could. And at first I thought that path was going to be through dancing. And I guess initially it really was, because that's what drew me out to Los Angeles. That's what I did that's how I got my SAG card. That's how I got in the union, was through dance. And so then once I was hit by the car and I pivoted into acting, well, kind of like with everything else, and it was just, I threw myself into it. I dove headfirst, fully into the deep end. And I credit my dance background to helping me get as far as I did, as quickly as I did. I have a very, very unique story in that acting happened for me pretty quickly. Like I booked very soon. Let's see. I was hit by a car in 1992. By 1994, I was starring in my very first series. Mm-hmm. And that was the remake of Get Smart. And then from then on, like I've knock on everything. I've been a working actor ever since. Mm-hmm. And that just, I don't know, I feel very fortunate. I'm very much a true story of like opportunity meeting hard work. Mm-hmm. So I just worked my butt off and I took advantage of every opportunity that I was given.
Absolutely. And I know you have been in absolutely everything from, of course, your iconic role in The Parent Trap to your newest movie, Freakier Friday. Do you have a favorite film that you've been in, or a role that you feel like's really stuck with you?
Well, obviously, The Parent Trap is so beloved by so many people, so many generations. It's just is universal. And but I having a favorite project is kind of like is trying to say if you have a favorite kid or not. And because they're all so different. I go into different productions for different reasons, whether it be for the character, whether it be for the experience, whether it be for who else I get to work with, or maybe where I get to travel to. So every experience is completely different. Like right now, I'm absolutely loving doing Dancing with the Stars. I've been saying, because people say, oh my gosh, is it so fun? And I'm like, well, I actually wouldn't use the word fun with it. I would use the word rewarding. It's very rewarding. It's very satisfying to me on so many levels. So, every project is just different.
Absolutely. And on this season with Dancing with the Stars, tell us a little bit about how that came about, how you got onto the show, and really what drove you to say yes to that opportunity.
This summer, obviously, I made a surprise cameo in Freakier Friday. And then I also am on the producing team of an off-Broadway play that's running right now called Ginger Twinsies. And that sort of, between those two, sort of thrust me back into but not just that. I'm going to also really credit the millennials and Gen Zers on social media have just absolutely redeemed Meredith Blake, which I'm so grateful for. So, I found myself all over TikTok and all over Instagram. And so it's one of these wonderful combinations of right time, right place, right time, right everything. And I was actually shooting another movie, and I got a call, and my agents were like, okay, you've been offered Dancing with the Stars. And I just looked around and I was like, y'all, I've just been asked to do Dancing with the Stars. It was so surreal. But my immediate answer was yes. And then I have a small committee, my team, my bestie, Lisa Ann Walter, another one of my besties, Liz Gillies, who I've done 2 series with. I have a few people who I kind of called sometimes to be like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. How do we, what do we think about this? And everyone was like, yes, yes, and yes.
Everyone's on board. They're like, go for it.
Yeah. And I was so happy for that because my inside was like, I don't know that I would ever get this opportunity again. And I've always wanted to get back into the dance studio. After my rec, the very first dance class I went back to, I had to get a cortisone shot just to be able to walk again. I was really injured. And I still, to this day, just with those injuries and life and other events, those wounds just kind of get a little deeper and deeper, and arthritis sets in, and it gets a little harder to do things. So I'm like, if I don't do this now, when am I going to do it?
Right. So you're on the show, you're kicking butt with all of these dances. Give us a little bit of insight of what's it like to work with the incredible Alan.
Oh, Alan Bersten. I love him so much. I used to go to the show when it was first starting. The original host, Tom Bergeron, is a dear friend of mine. And then Louis Van Amstel, who used to be one of the pros, is a friend of mine. And then I moved away, so I haven't been in years. And, now there's a whole new set of pros on there. And I adore Alan. Last year when he and Ilona were dancing, of course, I was cheering for them, not knowing at all that, I cut to a year later, I would be dancing with Alan. He is wonderful. He pushes me in all the right ways. It's like having a really good trainer who's like, come on, you can do it. One more. When I'm going, I'm hurting, I'm sore. I can't do that. He's like, yes, you can. And so he's really giving me, every reason to be my best. And I'm so grateful for that.
And of course, last season, Alan and Ilona kind of dominated these social media platforms, and we're seeing you guys and all of the other pros push out content like that. What is kind of your relationship with social media right now?
More intense than I have ever known in my life. I am older, so I didn't grow up with social media. I often wonder what my social media would be like if it was around when we did Parent Trap. So, I enjoy particularly TikTok because to me it's like making mini movies. Yeah. It gets very creative and fun, and I enjoy that. I will say it feels like it's a whole second job with this show, because the more successful, you know, it's a little bit of chicken and egg, you know, catch 22. The more the show gets popular, the more social media plays a role in it. The more social media plays a role in it, the more popular the show gets. And there's some, particularly this year, there's people on there with massive followings. And I guess for, you know, the average user, I have a really large following, but compared to like actual content creators, I don't have a large following at all. So, you know, I look at that and I go, wow, we're doing a lot of videos and it's fun for me. I worry sometimes about voting, like how can I reach people to vote for me? Because like, I don't want to go home. I feel more determined now than ever. And so we're just, with all of it, including social media, just doing our absolute best.
I'm sure, and I know there's more fans voting this year than there ever has been before. So that's incredible to see all of the work that you and all of the other celebrities on the season are putting into that. And this week you are doing a foxtrot for dedication night. This will be an everlasting love.
So cute.
Can you give us a sneak peek into what fans can expect?
Yes, they can expect me dancing. Well, okay, let me back up for a second. So Everlasting Love is the end credit song for The Parent Trap, right? Sung by Natalie Cole. Well, because of The Parent Trap, I met my best friend, Lisa Ann Walter, who played Chessie. And so when they said dedication week, who do you want to dance with and what do you want to dance to? I was like, oh, well, there's only one person that I want to do this with, and that's Lisa Ann Walter. And I think there's kind of only one song that we can really do this to, and that's This Will Be an Everlasting Love, because that just so describes our friendship. You know, it's like a full circle moment of a celebration of our friendship, how we met, where we met. And then it's just the perfect description of our friendship as well. So our intention is to really do this for the fans. Like, this is a celebration. Oh, I'm going to get really emotional. It's a celebration of our friendship. And it's also like a love letter to our fans.
I absolutely love that. And I know so many people are excited to see you take the ballroom floor. Kind of getting into that a little bit more with dedication night and this, you've said you feel like it's kind of tying that full circle moment between your current self and Meredith Blake.
Yeah. Certainly The Parent Trap. I mean, this particular dance, it's a full circle moment because of The Parent Trap, because of Lisa. And now being here, we've been friends since that movie. We filmed that movie in 1997. And I like to joke, like, listen, people can do math. People can do math. They know how old we are. They know how long we've been friends. They know how long since that movie was out. And it's been an enduring legacy. And so now, all these years later, people are always so happy when they see us together. And now, like, The Parent Trap was such a big event. And now, you know, she's on Abbott Elementary, a hit show. I'm on a hit show on the same network by the same, you know, Disney, ABC. Like, when does that happen? It's incredibly special and magical.
That's so amazing to hear. And I'm sure you're going to crush this dance and all of the rest of this season. What would it mean for you personally to bring a Mirrorball home for the East Tennessee community?
Oh, gosh. I came into this, you know, that I'm competing against myself. And I maintain that because to me, I'm using this opportunity to see just what I can do, just how far I can take it, how I can push my body again, how I can move. First of all, I've never done ballroom, and I've never done ballroom, and then I haven't trained like this in 33 years. Mm-hmm. So it's all about challenging myself. At the same time, like the further I go, the more in me that goes, oh gosh, can I do this? What could that actually happen? Could I win? Dare I even dream that, So I'm just like, as I came into this show, I'm just going to keep saying, yes. Like, why not? And whatever happens, it's going to be incredible. But I am just more determined now. And I want to do it. I want to do it for myself. I want to do it for Alan. I want to do it for the fans. And I want to do it for that, that 21-year-old inside me who had to give up her dreams so long ago. So it's just taking on more meaning than I could have possibly imagined.
I bet. If there was one message that you would want to tell your fans of this show, what would you want them to know?
A few things. This came to me last week, and I was like, it hit me so hard that just because your dreams aren't unfolding the way you thought they were doesn't mean they're not happening.
Yeah.
And I really want people, like, my greatest goal, like the greatest gift I could both give and receive, I think, from this is the inspiration to, like, believe in yourself, but not like in that, you see it written on a plaque way, like in a very real, tangible way, because I am literally walking proof of it. And then the other thing I would just say to them is just thank you so much. I really credit fans for helping me be here, to help me get here. And so I want to say thank you, and that I don't take any of it for granted. Not one moment am I taking for granted.
Like I said, I know that everyone here in Knoxville is cheering you on as you go through this show and this journey.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been hearing, like, I know Yeehaw Brewing Company, they're doing a watch party. I don't know if there are others, but they specifically, I know. So whatever watch parties are happening there, I give shout outs to. Just thank you so much.
And I know our time is limited today, so I just have a couple more quick questions for you. Your last name is Hendrix. Are you at all related to John Hendrix, the prophet of Oak Ridge? I
don't know. I actually did a project. Lisa and I did a project a couple of years ago with Ancestry.com, and I'm not exactly sure how the Hendrix ties go, because the family who was in Oak Ridge, they were, Hendrix goes back, like, Ancestry was able to trace back to my 7th great-grandfather, who was like neighbors with George Washington's father.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy. But the Oak Ridge ties, that they were a newer family. They were just like 2nd generation Americans. And so that was the DiPercios. So I don't know. And there was a lot of DiPercios. Like, I had 7 aunts and uncles. There's 19, maybe 19 or 20 of us first cousins. And then it's growing. So that side of the family is really large. So I don't know about my ties to John Hendrix, but I'll go look.
So your Tennessee roots are firmly planted.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you don't mind sharing, can you tell us where you went to high school in Morristown?
Yes. So I only went to high school for 1 year in Morristown, and that was Morristown West. So we had
go ahead.
schools. We had 2 high schools, East and West, and I went to West. And then we moved to Atlanta.
Were you on the cheer team there?
No, not in high school.
Gotcha. Was that earlier on?
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, awesome. I think that's all the questions I have for you. Is there anything else that you'd want to share with East Tennessee?
Yeah, well, I just want to say hi to my family. My dad is still in Knoxville, my stepmom. I have aunts and uncles there, cousins there. And so my family, they've always been incredibly supportive of me. So I just shout out to my family. I love them so much.
Oh, awesome. It's been absolutely incredible to meet with you and incredible to chat with you and be able to pick your brain a little bit. You have no idea how much we appreciate this.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I always say, Kelly knows, like, as you're putting the stories together or anything, you're like, oh, I'm missing this link or whatever, just reach back out. I'm happy to answer anything, especially now. Like, I will end on this. Usually I do interviews talking about a character, and this is kind of the first show and the first very, very, very public foray into like me just being me. And I'm doing everything I can to embrace the opportunity and share as much of myself as I can with everyone.